What's up? This is MLB Talk 123. I made a video about the Indians acquiring Ubaldo Jimenez pretty much right when it was done, and it was like a minute after. I was like, I need to get this video. So I did it, and I'm afraid it's probably going to take a lot of criticism because I really didn't know much about the prospects other than White and Pomeranz. I didn't know about McBride, and then they added a fourth prospect, so I'm like, I'm just going to redo it. So the Indians have made huge news acquiring Ubaldo Jimenez. Obviously, when you get a guy like Ubaldo Jimenez, a lot of people thought the Yankees were going to get him. For a while, it was kind of like the Reds. Then it was like the Yankees. I personally thought if anyone was going to acquire him, it was going to be the Yankees. But the Indians have pretty much surprised a lot of people, I think, and made just a fantastic move. Obviously, they didn't get him too cheap, though. They had to give up a lot, but I think they fit well with what the Rockies were doing and what the Indians wanted to do. They obviously wanted good major league ready prospect and some just really projectable ace type prospect. And they got that. They got a pretty big haul for Ubaldo Jimenez. Ubaldo Jimenez, again, he won like 18 games last year. He finished third in Cy Young. He had like a 2.90 ERA last year, something around that. He had a great year last year. I met him in St. Louis, actually. I got his autograph and stuff. He was a pretty quiet guy, but he was a pretty nice guy. But, you know, Colorado, I heard earlier, I read something about they're kind of mad at Ubaldo Jimenez. The way he's acted, something like that. I'm not exactly sure if that's really true or not, but I saw that in an earlier article. But, you know, I think the reason why Colorado traded him, number one, he struggled this year. You know, he's done good, he's done bad, he's done good, he's done bad. He's looked like his old self, and it'll show, you know, he pitched like 8 innings and give up a run or like a shutout or something. And then, sorry about the squeaky chair, and then he'll like give up like 5 runs in like 6 innings or something and lose a game. So it's like, the Rockies, I think it was time for them to rebuild at this point. Not to say, oh, totally give up. I'm saying kind of minor rebuild. When you have a major league prospect like Alex White, you're not really rebuilding, you know, giving up. You know, you give away Ubaldo Jimenez, but you get Alex White, and you get, you know, 3 other prospects, and one of them being the number 14th best prospect in the whole game. Again, so they get Joe Gardner, Alex White, Matt McBride, and a player to be named later, and also Drew Pomeranz, the big one. Alex White and Drew Pomeranz are the big ones. Alex White is a right-handed pitcher, and he's ready right now. He's pitched in the big leagues this year. He has a 3.5 around there, 3.5, 3.6 ERA, but he's got hurt. And then Drew Pomeranz, I believe he's in high class A right now. He's like a 1.99 ERA or something like that. Pretty insane, and he's ranked 14th best prospect in the whole game and 5th for the Indian system. But this guy, Pomeranz, has a much better chance to be an ace than Alex White. But again, Alex White, a ton of buzz around when he had his debut because, you know, he's projected to be an ace. So him and Pomeranz, 2 great young guys. Pomeranz, I would take over White, though, because, in fact, Pomeranz is a left-hander. And he's a little younger, but White, again, has more years of experience on his belt, too, so that's obviously why he's older. But Pomeranz was the big one. Obviously, getting Alex White in a deal from Cleveland, if you're going to get Ubaldo Jimenez, he's kind of like a no-brainer of getting in the deal. But to be able to get Alex White and Drew Pomeranz, I think that was a big deal for Colorado to really get this deal done. Because, you don't know. You know, Ubaldo Jimenez, he could have pitched the rest of the season for the Rockies. They could have chose to try to trade him then. He might have pitched terrible the rest of the season. He might have pitched amazing. But he might have got hurt, or, you know, he might have just stayed healthy, and, you know, his stock might have gone up a little bit or might have dropped down a lot. Who knows? But I think the Rockies made the right decision trading him now. They get some more time for Alex White to get some major league experience, give some time for the prospect to get used to their system and get in their system and start really helping out their minor league teams and, you know, make an impression on their major league team. And getting Drew Pomeranz is a huge deal. I think getting Alex White and Drew Pomeranz is a big deal. I like the deal for the Rockies. I like the deal for the Indians. The Indians are going like a win now and long-term plan. They're kind of going win now, long-term, win now, long-term. They want to win the division, obviously, but they don't want to make mistakes. Their GM has had great trades in the past, you know, giving away veterans and aces, really good guys. And getting, you know, that trade with Brandon Phillips and Grady Sizemore, sorry about the Chariot. So it's like this GM has gotten so many of his key players in trades. And so it's amazing how he did it. So obviously this team is built to win in the future, but obviously it's winning now too. It's had a great season. It started off. I keep saying it. The Indians started off with the best record in baseball, and they've continued to have a good season. But getting you Jimenez is really going to set them up if he becomes, and he has pitched like himself, then he is an ace. I mean, there's no way else to describe it. He's an ace. I remember when he was really young in the World Series and he was pitching in like the 8th or ninth inning against Boston, and you knew this guy was going to be amazing. And then you see a guy like David Price, a young David Price, pitch in the late innings. You knew this guy was going to be a starter and he was going to be great. And this is exactly what happened. Jimenez is only 27. He's got a pretty low, reasonable, very reasonable salary for the next few years, and options and stuff like that. He has an ERA above 4. I know. But he does have 8.6 K per 9, which is really good, and he's lowered his walk, 3.5 per 9. He's gotten better control now, and he's almost has a 50% ground ball rate, so that's really good. He went third place in the Cy Young last year, and he won like 18 games. He posted an ERA below 3, but we all know that. So, but again, Jimenez, if he was a free agent after the season, there's no way he would get anywhere close to get. They would probably get Alex White and maybe one prospect and a player to be named later, because of the fact that he's going to be there next year for a reasonable salary, and the next year, and then a club option, and all those salaries are pretty reasonable, especially the next 2 years, very reasonable. That's where you get the value of like throwing in a Drew Pomeranz, and you getting more top prospects in it. So that's just fantastic deal for the Indians to be able to get this, and it's going to excite all the fans. I think if Jimenez starts pitching like he could, and he has, this guy is going to really be good in Cleveland, and he's young. It's just a great thing for Cleveland to have this like win now, but also long term. I'm loving it. But I really like this trade for the Indians, but I also really like it for the Rockies. Obviously, the Rockies are trying to rebuild, and they have a great team. When you have a core of Troy Tulowitzki, Carlos Gonzalez, you got young players coming up, and Eric Young Jr., and you're trying to get those guys major league experience and get yourself back into the winning, and to win the NL West again. Obviously, getting prospects like that is exciting because Alex White can start pitching pretty much right away. And then you got prospects that are going to be coming up that are going to be your number 1 or 2 starters. It's going to add. So you got, Alex White and Pomeranz, number 1, number 2. And you still got all your other pitchers. So, you lose one pitcher who's, obviously came up through your system and was an ace for you last year. But you get some good prospects. And then we still haven't talked about McBride. He wasn't a first-round pick, unlike Pomeranz and Alex White. He was a second-rounder in 2006, and he was not rated in the top 30 prospects for the Tribe, but they obviously scouted him, and they liked what they saw. I think the main thing with this for the Rockies is they are in a position to make more trades. Kind of like the Indians are in a position to make more trades. They're almost pretty close to acquiring Ron Ludwig. Nothing's for sure yet, but they're in talks and all that. But the thing with McBride is, I know he's 26. He's batting 280, and most of the appearances have come from AA. But the thing is, he's versatile. He's played different positions, and he's played catcher for some games too. So, obviously this is a good guy to get, versatile guy. And it's exactly what Colorado needs for short term, and maybe he'll become something. I don't know. But the thing is that Colorado, again, is in a position to make more trades. We might see a guy like Seth Smith be dealt or something like that. They were discussing with the Reds a deal that would extend Ubaldo Jimenez, not extend him, but literally extend part of the deal and add like a guy like Seth Smith and company. So, and then Gardner was the 4th player to be later added. He was a 3rd-round selection in 2009, and he has almost a 5 ERA, 4.99 ERA, but he's in 97 in a 3rd innings as a starter in his first stint in AA. So they get 2 first-rounders and then 2 second-rounders. Yeah, 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders for Ubaldo Jimenez. So a great haul for the Rockies, also great for the Indians getting Ubaldo Jimenez. So I think it's good on both sides, and I think these guys are going to be valuable to the Rockies and Indians. Gardner, he's had 5.5 K per nine, 4.3 walk per nine innings. He's definitely going to work. That's exactly why you got to bring a player like this to your system and help them progress. I can see him either being a number 3, number 4 starter or a relief, come on relief. That happens a lot. Starters in Class A and Double A, usually a lot of them become in relief unless they're like highly looked at prospects. But you know, he's definitely projectable, second rounder, and he's a good pitcher. So he's definitely going to need to work on control and getting the strikeouts up there, unless he's just a ground ball pitcher. But you know, this guy is all of them are, you know, good prospects, and McBride is versatile, and you know, 2 second rounders and first rounders. You know, the Rockies definitely saw something in these guys scouting, and the Indians were willing to give them up. So good deal for the Indians, good deals for the Rockies. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna be talking 1, 2, 3. All right.